All right, grade 9s, here is part 2 of evaluating media texts and PSAs. We're going to take a look at, we already took a look at a PSA from the government of California for that smoking one, and then for the one that was put out by that financial institution about having the talk with your kids about alcohol is important, but have you had the talk with your kids about money? Somehow comparing money management to alcoholism is a thing, but anyways, let's move on. Okay, so if any of you have seen, they're called heritage moments, Canadian heritage moments. This is from it, or Canadian Historica moments. So ad agencies plan an ad using a variety of elements such as camera shots. The opening shot establishes the setting. What does this shot tell the audience about time, place, and atmosphere? Well, let's take a look. I don't know how I can zoom in. Okay, so you can see in this that just judging by what they're wearing, this is probably early 1900s. So opening scene. So I'm going to send you the link for this YouTube video because they're only a minute long because they're called Historica minutes. They're actually really cool. They used to play on TV all the time on CBC. And it's just like a bunch of little like Canadian history in a minute. All these little things. There's one about like the Halifax Harbor explosion, the sod houses that they used to build on the prairies before, like when the first settlers came here. This one's pretty cool because it's about Superman. So, in the opening scene, there's a sound of a train whistle. Establishing shot shows a crowd of people on a busy train platform. Camera pans to two people wearing old-fashioned clothes. Whistle blows. Sound of footsteps on a wooden platform. A cloud of steam engulfs two people facing the camera. So, the fact that it's a steam-driven engine and this train platform is so busy means that this was like a primary mode of transportation. So definitely early 1900s. Okay, let's look at down here. Advertising always has one primary purpose: to persuade. What do you think this PSA is trying to persuade you to do? As you read on, consider how the elements work together to achieve that purpose. So I'm not going to read all this. You can watch the video. You can read it. There's some stills here from it. Every element in an ad is carefully planned and chosen to achieve its purpose. How has this director chosen to use colors? How do the colors support the other elements in the PSA? Well, colors are a little bit bland. You can see it's a little bit smoky. She pops out. She's got like the nice blue. She's got the nice blue flower. He's wearing, older stuff. But it's not the color of what they're wearing. It's the actual color of the shot. And it's... like Instagram, you can get like different filters. It's like this one is shot through like some sort of filter, like a sepia tone filter or something. Across the many forms of advertising, ad companies use some common techniques. What techniques does this PSA use? Sound of a bell chime, conductor in the background, all aboard, cut from one two-shot to another. So they're using like quick camera movements. Those are all things to consider when looking at an advertisement that is on like TV. Now this isn't really advertising anything, it's just advertising a part of our heritage, a part of Canadian history. So go down a little bit further. When you are analyzing the effectiveness of the elements in ads, consider the intended audience. Who would be interested in the story of Superman? How effectively does this media text appeal to that audience? Well, Superman fans and any comic book fans are going to be interested in this. It's the origins of where the thought of Superman came. And anyone who's interested in Canadian history would be interested in this as well, as it's telling us a little bit about our Canadian history. So here's like the first drawing for it. So after you're done watching the part of our heritage moments and reading through this, I don't know if this one's it, then I want you to, so here's the YouTube link for that. It'll be right in this. You can read the document, upload, Superman PSA, and or watch the YouTube video above. I would just like read through it, watch it a couple times. Like the video's literally only a minute long. So now that you've watched it, you got a couple questions here to think about. What do you think now? Can a great idea change your life? What great idea is the focus of this selection? What do you think is necessary to make a great idea work? So for one thing, he's passionate about it. Can a great idea change your life? Of course it can. Analyzing media elements. Would you agree that this PSA is trying to sell Canadian history? What elements support that opinion? What elements don't? Well, that's up for you to decide. I don't know how you can sell history, but if they were selling a book and they were using this as an advertisement, but these were just from a series of like TV ads sponsored by the government that, you know, were just giving us, snippets of Canadian history a minute at a time. Reading for detail. At what point in the text did you realize that Joe created Superman? What clues helped you? You can answer that one. Critical literacy. Assess the accuracy of this account of the creation of Superman character. What details would you want to verify? Well, one thing in there is he says, well, he can't fly, but he can leap over tall buildings. Okay, I'm pretty sure Superman can fly in like the more modern movies and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of comic book movies or read comic books too much. And reading like a writer. Is he great or what? Is an example of informal language. What effect does this language have on the audience? So I can tell you one thing. The use of informal language in any advertisement is appeals to people in a way that using formal language would not. You know, they're not. People think that when you're using formal language and big words, you're talking down to them. So using informal language, you know, you can reach more people. So let's take a look at the next one. This is called the Bar War. Wrappers from various sources. So we can look at some of these chocolate bars. You choose a product based on how the packaging appeals to you. What do you think? You can answer never or always. I'm going to have to think on that for minutes. I would say that I definitely do sometimes choose a product based on the packaging. So energy bars and chocolate bars are a major industry that brings in millions of dollars every year. Company must design a wrapper to get the attention of its target audience. Examine these chocolate and energy bar wrappers. How do the wrappers get attention? Well, let's just look at the first couple here. I'm going to try and minimize this a bit. Just make it a little bit smaller so we can kind of see more of them. Like this one's pretty plain, right? Like it's just like a peach colored wrapper. It's got some lines on it. It's got the name here. Extra rich milk chocolate. Fine artisan chocolate. So it's probably really good. 41% cocoa, so it's not dark chocolate. And then we go up here. Twix hasn't really changed too much, but one thing Twix has is that it has gold packaging. Gold in itself is like very colorful, not colorful, but it's bright, right? When you see something gold, your eye's drawn to it because of the flashiness of it. It's like a flashy gold thing, and it's got bright red lettering with a white outline. It stands out pretty good. Instantly recognizable as a Twix bar. Then we look at this one. Experiences Noir Orange, 70% cocoa. So this is a dark chocolate orange flavored chocolate bar. One thing it has that the other two that we've looked at doesn't have is that it actually has a picture of the product on here with slices of orange, you know, further identifying it as orange chocolate. Move up a little bit, got the Aero bar, brown and white, different shades of brown and white, with the only other color here is the Nestle logo. So nothing like too flashy, too crazy there. It kind of blends into the mix. But the letter style is kind of the texture of the inside of an Aero bar. And what's this one? Chocolate Plus. I can't even really read that one. Milk chocolate something probiotic plus. So it's a nutritional health product. So it's in cardboard packaging by the look of it. It kind of looks like from here, you know, like those pies you get at McDonald's. It's two colors mainly, the blue and the white. They also have a picture of the product on here, or what the product is trying to taste like. Lots of lettering here. When you're grabbing a candy bar, it's not something that you're going to sit there and read in the grocery store or Max and like read through a bunch of stuff. Like you just go for it. And then these thins, we got some purple, it's shiny, some green coming through here. 100 calories in bold letters. So for those people who would be, you know, maybe concerned about how many their calorie intake, this would appeal to them because it's pretty bright. I would say this is right here is the brightest part of this whole wrapper. And come down, here's some like energy and protein bars. For me, I'm just going to close my eyes. I'm going to open them and see which one pops out to me the most. Let's toss it between these two. The green, the Gen Soy and the Real Green. This one's like super busy, big lettering with a bold outline. It's got like scribbles all over it. This one's got like a nice swirly type thing. I've had a pure protein bar before. They're terrible. Maybe they're better now. I don't know. But I remember I bought one time. I was super hungry. I was on a road trip and I bought one. It was not good. Rebar, this one's got a pretty cool packaging. It's got some stuff happening in here. Seeds and greens energy bar. But that'll probably be pretty good. Zone Perfect. This one's got some like chocolate here. And the Larabar. This one's very plain, but it has bold lettering right across the top. So let's see. Responding. What do you think now? Do you choose a product based on how its packaging appeals to you? Compare and contrast the different wrappers. Identify the different elements that will appeal to different audiences. So like I said about that one that had the only 100 calories, that's going to appeal to people who are calorie watching. You know, the seeds one are people who maybe like eating, you know, peanuts and pumpkin seeds and stuff a little bit more than other people. So evaluating media text. Identify the target audience for one of the wrappers. So pick one of those chocolate bars and identify the target audience. For me, I'm just going to give you the example of this one here, the thins. This is going to appeal to an audience of people who are calorie watching. Evaluate how effectively the wrapper targets that audience. Which elements work best? Well, it's got that bold thing that says 100 calories. So it really works well for appealing to people who are calorie watching. So you can't choose that one when answering. Pick a different one because I've already given you the answer for that one. Making inferences. Examine one wrapper closely. What inference can you make about its audience? Well, you know, going back to this Cadbury Thins one, it's called Thins. So for people who are trying to be thin and watch calories, you know, it's got two things batting for them in that category, and that it's going to be this healthy chocolate bar with only 100 calories. Thins, maybe eating it will make you thin. Who knows, right? These are the things that you got to look at when you are, you know, making inferences. Critical literacy. How would an environmentalist respond to these wrapper designs? How would a nutritionalist respond? Well, environmentalist is going to be someone looking at all this plastic and saying, well, that's like super wasteful. Why does it need to be wrapped in plastic? And then we come up to the top. If I can get up there before the time runs out. Like this one's in cardboard. That's recyclable. This one I think is also in paper, cardboard, and this one too. Recyclable. What about from a nutritionalist point of view? This one's got a lot of writing on it. Probably talking about the nutrition stuff. So anyways, that's what you need to do for these two things. We are out of time. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Edsby. Over and out.